Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for every upload that I upload to the channel. Let's get this started. We are not going to be posting any gameplay of any games right now, but I'm going to show you how to boost your phone's performance so you don't use game boosters for your games. And we're going to show you how to boost phone performance for the games that you play on your device, whether it's a mid-range phone or for high-end phones that might work too. So let's get this started. So number one, wait. Hold on. All right, so is display. Now, you go here, turn your high refresh rate up to 90 hertz or 120 hertz if you have a more powerful phone, I would say. But this is for mid-range phones, so 90 hertz is minimum as the highest. Let's see here. Okay, so you go to developer options, and let's see here. Auto system updates, keep that on. Logger buffer size. Now this needs to be between 56K or 64K on the logger buffer size. Nothing higher than that. Sometimes it can be on 4M, which is 4 megabytes. You can also put it on that one too, but I rather keep it a little bit low because you don't want the logger buffer size to be too high. It'll be pretty bad. But enable GPU debug layers. Yes, you need this on to use the GPU for your games. It helps debug the game's issues to the game. It helps identify the problems of the game, and that's what it's for. Like rendering problems or like server issues or maybe like bugs in the game that you can identify. This is what this for the GPU debug layers. That's basically what it's for. It's just to identify the problems in the game that you're currently playing. Whether it's like Withering Waves, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, or any other game. If there's any issues, that's what this is for, to detect issues in the game. Graphics driver, you need to turn this on for some apps, not all of your apps, just some of them, especially for your games. Your games need to be on system graphics driver and not on default, because if you leave it on default, it's just gonna use less and less power on the app, and you're not going to boost the game's frame rates either. So keep in mind when you're downloading games from Google Play or the Galaxy Store or whatever device you have, make sure you keep your games on system graphics driver because you want to run it on that. It's better. Makes the game more smooth, I would say. Next up, allow screen overlays on settings. Turn this off. You don't need it on. System tracing. Put your CPU buffer size on max. If you're on max per CPU buffer size, keep it on max because you want to run the CPU at its best, especially on mid-range phones. Because on mid-range phones, because it's not a high-end phone, you need to run higher CPU power. You need heat temperatures to boost the performance on your games that you're currently playing, and this will help the performance for the games that you're currently playing. So you need to keep your buffer size maxed out on mid-range phones, but for high-end phones you want to keep it on the third stage, the third one right there, and keep it a little bit low but not too high. because high end phones don't need to run full power or don't really need to run too much of high performance because the phone is more powerful. So with high end phones, you don't need to run more power like that. You know, only mid range phones you need to run more power because you're using a phone that's not more powerful than a high end device. So keep, like I said, keep your buffer size, CPU buffer size high. Don't keep it low. Low increases the temperature even higher because you're using less power, but you're really supposed to use high power CPU buff for size to lower the temperature a little bit to have that heat dissipation that you need. And it makes the phone throttle the temperature to lower it when it gets hot. So you're supposed to keep your temperature between 40, I would say between 40 and 44 or 45 at its highest. You should not go past 45 degrees Celsius on your device. If your device gets way too hot, your games will crash significantly because this is too hot on the device. You need to cool it down. Because if you have your temperature too high on your phone, it can damage a component or some transistors on your motherboard on your phone. You don't want to overheat your phone too high. If you have it past 45 up to like 47, 48, and then jump up to 50, that's too high for your device to be running a game for that type of temperature. You can't do that to you're destroying your device when you do that. So try not to let it go past 45 degrees Celsius or building more heat. Try not to go past 45 at least. You need Wi-Fi scan throttling. What does is it throttles the internet between mobile data and Wi-Fi. It says Wi-Fi scan throttling, but it works for mobile data too because you're swapping between Wi-Fi and mobile data. When you have mobile data always active, you want to keep that on. With the Wi-Fi scan throttling, what it does is it reduces battery drain and improves network performance, but also for mobile data as well. Mobile data always active. Turn that on. That stays on at all times. Tethering hardware acceleration. Turn that on. Always need to be on. Network download rate limit. Put it to no limit because you want to build up more data speed when you're playing mobile games, especially games like Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact. You need no limit on your download speed or internet speed in general because you need to lower the latency that you've running on the game. So basically, let's see here. Your Windows animation needs to be on dot 5 times. Nothing higher than that. Do not put your Windows animation higher than that or lower than that because it's bad. Let's see. Your minimum wavelength needs to be at least between 411 and 500. Nothing higher or lower than that. Let's see here. This is the GPU hardware accelerated rendering. And do not turn on force 4 times MSSA. That's the anti-aliasing for the OpenGL. Never turn it on, never run it because it makes your game lag more. So disable HW overlays. What this does is it boosts the GPU speed for rendering in your games. So when you're playing like games like Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves or Honkai Star Rail, when you see rendering issues in your game, you're using less GPU power, which is not enough to render all of the frames to the game. So you need to turn that on at your own risk. Turn it off or on. It depends on your device, because if you have a high-end phone, you don't need to boost your GPU because your GPU is super high, like super powerful. On the scale, you don't need to push your GPU higher because you have a high-end phone. You don't need to boost it, because you can boost it in game that you're playing. So turn this on only for mid-range phones. Mid-range phones can't render the game when this is off, because the render is not fast enough to render every frame in the game. So especially like Withering Waves or Genshin Impact or something like that, unless the crowd density is low. Because if your crowd density is too low, you're not going to render the game's frames in the game that you're currently playing when the crowd density is too low. You need to put your crowd density on high to have higher render speeds on your GPU. Especially like on Genshin Impact Mobile or something like that, your crowd density needs to be on high, not on low. But for Withering Waves, your crowd density needs to be on medium or high. Unless if you're have a mid-range phone and can only go up to crowd density medium, then the best thing to do is to turn on the disable HW overlays. Turn it on because you need more render speed. You need to increase your GPU higher to render the game better for mid-range phones. Don't keep activities. Turn that off. You don't need it on. It's very bad. It makes the game lag. Background process limit. Put it on no background process. You don't want anything in the background, especially when you're playing a game, because it does make the game lag more because of the overlays that you are connected to other apps at the same time. So that's why you want to put the background process on no background process. So that way it'll delete every activity without using the actual don't keep activities. That's basically what it does. The process limit just doesn't process the background of the app that you're running, especially when it's a game. It makes the game run better when you have nothing in the background. When you click an app, when you play your game. Always show crash dialog. You want to turn that on because you want to detect the issues of the game that's crashing, or any app or any other app that's crashing. Turn on stylus handwriting. What this does is it's a motion event for your games. Like when you're playing a open world game or games that has like words, subtitles in there, it stylizes the handwriting of the game during the subtitles. It makes the words look better, basically. You want to turn that on. So that's it for the developer options. There's one last thing, is the internet speed. Now the internet speed, you want to go to more connection settings and put private DNS. You want to put your private DNS provider host name on Cloudflare DNS or Google DNS or any other DNS that you kind of want to use. I think the best two DNS servers out there is actually Cloudflare and Google DNS. So I'd rather use those two DNS servers to boost signal strength on your mobile data. And on Wi-Fi, it has a different setting, so you can change it on there too for static. Anyway, this is what this is for, to boost internet speed right along with the Wi-Fi scan throttling. But yeah, so that is it for the boost performance of the device. You don't want to use You don't want to use third party apps. Don't use that in your games, especially live service games like Genshin Impact, Withering Waves, Honkai Star Rail, or Dragon Ball Legends. Do not use third party apps on games. Those are forbidden, such as game boosters. You know how people have these download these game booster apps that are on Google? Never download them because they don't actually work. They don't actually work. I've test read them and stuff like that before. I never really test run at them on games. Really, I just mostly just test run the app itself. But it doesn't work at all. It doesn't. It does delete cache and stuff like that, but it doesn't actually boost the game performance. It doesn't work, especially on games. It doesn't work on games. Um, those apps tend to be fake, I would say, and it's really unofficial. Um, some apps, such as third party apps, do not use game boosters, do not use hacking cheating tools, or do not use any other abuse in spending money payment and getting a refund for it, because that can also be bad. But don't do that. So this is the way to increase phone boost on your games, so you don't have to use game boosters. And this is the problem with a lot of people, is that they attend to use game boosters on their phones, knowing that they don't know their phone's full potential, because most people don't know their phone's full potential. That's why they use game boosters apps to boost the game performance, but it doesn't work because you're running third party app. It is forbidden to run third party apps on your device. Rather it's a game booster, rather it's a hacking tool. Even hacking tools are considered third party, and it's forbidden. It is an illegal thing to do on games, especially using hacking tools or game boosters. On knowing that you can get banned for that. Um, what you don't understand is that players need to understand that hacking in a live service game is not okay. And you don't know the consequences because they have your IP address, they have your account ID number, and they have your progress records on your gameplay when you've been playing on your account. They even have your logins records. How many times have you been logged in? How many times you've been playing the game? How long you've been playing it? They know all of that. People say that they don't spy on your account on your games. They actually do for certain companies. Depends on what company, what game you've been playing. So, as for Dragon Ball Legends, they don't spy on your account. That's why they have a report system on there, because they don't really spy on your account. They actually just let people play the game, and if they hack, report the player that's been hacking. Let's be honest. But for Withering Waves, Genshin Impact, they have your IP address, they have your records, they have your ID number. They know what account to ban and what not to ban. Sometimes they don't know what account to ban because they think every player is cheating in the game when they're not. But it just really depends, because they don't always know, but they do know majority, I would say. So let's say if you are a hacker on a mobile game, you might want to leave and you might want to erase those hacks, because they can track you on your IP address, they can track you on your records in progress of your game. So just keep that in mind. that they know about it. They keep track on what you've been doing on your game, and that's why they want you to use your Gmail account or your Facebook account, or they want you to use your Thread account, or they want you to use those accounts because you're giving your information to them so they can have the information to identify your account, to know that if you are cheating in the game or not. That's the reason why they want your Gmail account login. So they can keep track of what you've been doing on the game. That's why players get banned in game for cheating, because they have your information. They have all your records on your account. So that's what people need to understand, that when you have to follow the policy of the game. Once you log into a game and they want you to accept the policy and the punishments of the game that comes with it, it's because they want your information from your Gmail account, because they want to know if you're cheating in their game or not. They want to stay up to date with your account. So that's the reason why they want you to use a Gmail account, Facebook account for login. They want you to do that for a reason. That's why you have to understand, do not hack in live service games, especially on mobile and PC, because they know what you've been doing. So they, like I said, they keep track of it. So just remember that. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.